Okay, this will be my first video tutorial kind of on restructuring. I haven't taken a look at this loan at all. This was sent to me by a team lead, so we're going to see if we can get it fixed. I'm going to try to keep this under 15 minutes. So this is an EPM file. EPM makes it easy. All of their documents get uploaded to the portal, and obviously portal is much more navigable than Village. So I usually hop in documents, do a quick sort by created date. It's going to pop up most recent, and then you're looking for underwriting if you want findings. Just a little pro tip: if you guys want to look up and find the Mavent reports for like QM and high cost fails, like if your leader's asking for it, these are going to be labeled as compliance reports. So if you see compliance report, that is the Mavent report associated with the fail you're getting, and it's always going to be most recent one. You want to grab the most recent one that'll have um, all your shit on it. I don't want to get too far into that. Just kind of pro tip there, compliance report. That's Mavent. Underwriting is AUS. We're looking for DU. Perfect. So I'm going to open that. And then I'm going to bring over Encompass. This is going to be a little tricky again because of the two-part screen here, but we'll make it work. Grab um, the Encompass loan number here. Pop that in. Hopefully we need a match. I want you guys to get a little bit more visuals with that. Let's see, we're at 25, 85, 26, 7. Yes, we do need a match, so good. Okay. Um, I'm going to try. Well, I'm just going to give you guys a visual so you can see this. You can pause it if you want, but LTV is 60. Here are ratios. This is loan amount. I'm going to keep this on my second screen. I'm going to just refer back to it, but these are a bunch of key details. So, 7.25, 360. It is a cash out. Appraised value 300. Important. I'm going to be looking at these. Thank God they only have two deads. Otherwise, this would be a longer video if I had to, balance payments and stuff like that, payoffs. But two debts here. If you see this, using the minimum monthly payment, what that means is they're hitting them in the DTI for this type of whatever the liability is in this section. So DU has used minimum monthly payment. That means this is counting against them in their ratios. Following accounts were omitted from underwriting analysis. This does not mean that they're being paid off. It means that they're omitted for whatever reason. So Capital One could be because 10 payments or less, could be because it's a charge off, could be because it's a collection that doesn't need to be paid, maybe because the amount is under 2,000 and there's no payment, whatever the case is. If you see it's being omitted, that is excluded and not being paid off, nothing's hitting the ratios. And then boom, here, with the exception of 30 accounts, evidence of payoff, following debt, this is where you'll see your payoffs for the debts. So here's our mortgage, and then this is, could be a car, something like that, member one, federal credit, whatever, 25K balance. Moving down a little bit, here is our income. This will be for both borrowers. This will show all sources. So they're giving her 57.46 and 66 cents for income. And then down here can give you a little bit of information. Sometimes this is relevant if you're on a rate and term or like a high product non-jumbo. You might need to be concerned about county loan limits. If it's a VA loan, this section down here will be information on the residual. Here's your FICO, obviously. Here's all like loan payment information, general synopsis of the information going into what's providing your ratios. And so here's stuff with the loan amount. This is kind of general information about the loan itself. Here's income. This is payment breakdown if you're getting any cash back. This will have some stuff about rental. So a lot of times if you have a weird DTI mismatch that you can't figure out in Encompass, check here to see if, hey, maybe we submitted tax returns for some other type of income and it showed that they claimed rental from another property or maybe from the subject property. If it's a multi-unit, this will be here, so that's good. That's pretty much it. I'll let you guys can kind of, toggle back and forth, pause, or whatever if you want to go, follow along. But here's AUS, and I'm going to pull this over to the other side. So, like I mentioned in the first video, my first place that I start is going to be a front end. So 30.925, 25.85 on AUS. So I'm going to what's going into the payment. That's typically where I want to start. So I'm going to here, I'll give you a visual. So when I get to this page, Erla Lender, this has all of the payment information on it. I'm going to scroll all the way down, and I'm going to make sure insurance, taxes, HOA, all that shit matches. And then really at the end of the day, as long as this total housing matches this total housing, we're typically good to go. It's a good sign. So I notice it doesn't. Ours is a little higher, and so first thing I want to do is compare loan amount. Right now, let's see, 183,150. That matches. Okay, that's good. We already checked that it was a 360. It is a 7.25 though. I know that from AUS, so I'm going to update that. 7.25. That's only going to make our payment go up. So my guess, since theirs is lower, their DTI is lower, we probably have an income discrepancy. But let me finish this out. Let's see. We have 104 in homeowners insurance. Oops, mouse is lagging. 104.42. Property taxes are a lot lower. That is going to be a big factor in this for sure. God, my mouse is so fucking laggy. Sorry. Dropping that to 57 and 13 cents. Mortgage insurance matches, and now we have our 1485.63. That matches, so that's good. Still a discrepancy though, if you notice on. Sorry, I'm plugging my mouse in. Maybe that's why it's doing that. Yep, there we go. Still a discrepancy on the front end, so that tells me that our income is wrong. I'm going to go to part 2. That is our income section, and boom, right here, 5214.33. If you recall on AUS, 5746.66. So I'm going to update that, and that should fix at least at a minimum the front end discrepancy. 5746.66. 25,852, 25,85 D rounds, so that matches. 2667, 27053. So there's still a discrepancy with our liabilities. That's where my mind's going to go. So part 3 is where I would get there, VOL. And now essentially it's just making sure, hey, what are we paying off? Does it match? What are the payments for what we're not paying off? Does that match? These do match. These are what we're paying off, so that's good. It must be last thing, most likely, would be the payments on what we're not paying off. So I'm going to pull this over again, go to what we're including. Oh, actually, I'm sorry, I misspoke. So we're only including this one, 47, which is correct, and then this one's being omitted. So that should cause or fix the issue. I'm going to omit this $22 one. And again, reminder, don't click will be paid off. Click exclude from ERLA liabilities total. That is how you essentially just deleted that, basically. It's still going to be accounted for on AUS, but it's not going to hit the ratio. It's not going to cash close, etc. So now where are we at? 2667. I think that's right. Yep, 2667. Perfect. Okay, now is the restructuring point. So I'm just going to run DU on our side, make sure I'm also getting refer findings. You don't have to do this. Typically, there's almost always going to match. Sometimes you can get into a situation where maybe you're getting an approval and they're not. We may have to release findings or get really creative and seeing if there's anything that any minute details, something small, that's causing the lender to get a refer if you're getting approval. But in this case, most likely going to match. I just want to run it to be sure. You don't really have to do this, but I'm doing it just in case. Again, this is fine and valid. That's the only error message that's not going to hold you up from running it. And in this scenario, ratios are very low, very low. Let me see what FICO is. FICO is high, above 600, so that's a good sign. This one should be pretty easy to fix. My first thought, which is where I want you guys also thinking, is term. Can we flip this to LP? We're at a 360. Yeah, we're for 360-month term. I don't see that they ran LP, but I don't really care. I'm just gonna try it, and I'm not gonna run it. I'm gonna run it at 27. I'm not gonna waste time running it at 30. It's probably not gonna run approve if DU's not. Actually, that would be bad of me to do that. That's setting a bad example. Why not? Let's run LP and just take a peek. Chances are it doesn't run, but you never know. Ratio's this low. Usually at a 30-year, if DU doesn't run, LP also won't for FHA if your FICO's not high, but it's worth a shot. Might as well just check, cover our bases. So There's that. I'm gonna click continue. Okay, sorry about that. Had a bit of a drive-by question here. I think we got referred. Yep, we did refer. Okay, so that's good. Now we know we do have to fix it. So we'll wait for this to go. Don't know what the fuck this means. If you ever get one of these pop-ups, you can just double-click it. It should give you some more detail. Unknown error, though, that's very helpful. Let's see what this is. Currently locked by another user. That's weird. That's fine, though. Not worried about it. Okay. I'm going to on a loan like this where you see low ratios, I guarantee you 1,000 times out of 1,000 this is fixable. The only time that you would ever get something like a borrower's profile like this with low ratios, semi-high FICO, um, and it's still run refer is if there's something that AUS is picking up off the credit report. That could be a bankruptcy, that could be mortgage lates, fill in the blank. I don't know if AUS will pick up a forbearance. Um, Probably not, but it might pick up a foreclosure. And so there's going to be significant derogatory credit events on the credit report. AUS will pick up and can continue to run refer, even if it's the greatest credit profile of all time. 850 FICO, DTI at 1%, 1% interest rate, fill in the blank, it does not matter. AUS will always run refer for certain things. If it's one of those things, you got to make sure that you are aware of that and not spending too much time trying to fix it if it's unfixable. So real quick, might as well, just for the visual, I'll pull up the credit report, do a quick skim of the mortgages, see, there is a mortgage late in July. So you know what I'm actually going to do? I'm going to, let me just check while I'm here. Charge off to. Oh, was he? Okay, perfect. Okay, where's the, sorry to hear that. Okay. Okay, no worries, Mr. Hopper. I'm just kind of checking to see if there's any indication of maybe a bankruptcy. Nothing crazy on here, but it could be picking up this mortgage late. So actually, what I'm going to do is I'm going to open Encompass back up. I'm going to double check my AUS run from DU and see, is it picking it up on here? Let's see. Okay. Perfect. Yeah, presence of 130 day late. Well, that might F us. I'm gonna, just for my own entertainment purposes, I'm gonna skip everything else. Run this at a 20 year LP. Let's see where this goes. Probably not gonna run approved because of that mortgage late. That's gonna be the kicker on this one, unfortunately. But let's see. We'll save on your order. I'll give you a call back and let you know I got operation. Okay, sorry about that. To pause for a second, I was having some issues with the lock. I'm running LP now though. Again, it was about 10 minutes ago when I mentioned that, but I don't think it's going to run approved due to that presence of the late. This is an FHA loan, cash out. You cannot have mortgage lates in the last 12 months. So realistically, probably going to have to put this one back in after and rerun credit. Basically, need the DLA to update because AUS will always pick up the late on credit based on when credit was pulled and when the loan was last reporting. And so it doesn't really matter like, oh, well, he made August and we're in August now of next year, that's 12 payments. Doesn't matter. It has everything to do with the has everything to do with the credit report that is attached to AUS. And so in this scenario, boom, refer again. There's not going to be any. This is. I'll show you guys kind of what I was talking about earlier because this is a scenario where it's just never gonna matter. So I'm gonna put in 1%, 1%. I'm going to give them an extra. I'm gonna give them $1 million a month. I'm gonna put this. Yeah, I'll do OT actually. Just not fuck that up. Okay, there's a million. DTI now at 0.1 and 0.1. And then, let's see, I'm going to give them reserves of a billion maybe. Let's see here, checking account, borrower, 1, 2, 3. Let's see, whatever this number comes out to. Yeah, that's a billion. Okay, so you would think this is a relatively not risky borrower. This profile is pretty good here. DTI of less than 1%, $1 billion in reserves, $1 million a month in income. I run LP. If this runs approved, I'll be embarrassed, but there's no way. Continue. Let's see. Oh, it's actually giving me. Apparently, the most in reserves you could have is 999 million. Continuing. Okay, so I will give them 1 million in reserves. Make it nice and clean. So, oops. Let's just take out that. Okay. Try to run that one more time. Okay, we got this running now. We're at 1 million in reserves, 1 million a month in OT. We'll see. We'll see what it says. Probably gonna run refer though, unfortunately, which is crazy, but those are the rules. Gotta follow the rules. Can't have mortgage rates on an FHA cash out. So we shall see. Magic moment of truth here. Mind of the income. That's so dumb. Okay. All right. Well, I'm gonna pause this one more time. Change the income to 100,000 a month, and then I'll be right back. Okay. Income updated to 100K a month. Million in reserves. See if this bad boy will run for us. Continue. Yes. If it runs approve again, I'm going to be pissed. Okay, yep, and it ran reverse. So you see DTI, housing, 1%, monthly income 105, lender submitted reserves is going to be somewhere in here. LP is ugly. It's hard. This is why you'll hear DLs and myself, team leaders, always ask for AU or DU because it's just an ugly thing to look at. But here it is, submitted 1,000 reserves or 1 million in reserves. Not going anywhere though. This is going to stick with it until we get a credit report with a DLA of at least August 2025. Let me just confirm one more time that we don't. It's not August 2025. Pretty positive it's probably July or June. DLA, yeah, June 2025. So this will always stay here for this credit report. As long as we run AUS on this credit report, we will never get an approval. So this one I'm going to probably advise take manual or put back in once they can repull credit with an updated DLA. See, there is a pretty significant derogatory credit here on the mortgage. There's one here on an installment loan. Looks like it's been paid, which is good. Anything else crazy? Yeah. This one's ugly. Honestly, probably wouldn't work as a manual either, just because the significant amount of derogatory collections. Maybe. Again, FICO's pretty good. Ratios are really good, and so that's positive. Maybe I think this one is it EPM. Yeah, that's yeah. Okay, that's good. EPM's manual requirements for FHA are 31 front end, 43 back end, so we meet those. It would just be a hurdle to get over some of these derogatory counts, and so that's the big thing with this one. But that's going to be my advice. Take this manual or wait and repo credit. But all that is left now essentially is to clean up AUS or clean up Encompass a little bit, get it accurate and matched so that whoever goes here next is not confused as fuck. Um, go take that out. Yes. Um, forms. Oh, wait. Why is that? What did I do? Oh, I think I gave him a 1%. That's what I did. Okay, so put this back to a 7.25, and our ratios should match. 7.25. Nope. Oh, 360, 360. Okay, those match. I'm going to save an exit now, send this back to the LO and processor, let them know what I would suggest. And unfortunately, I did not get the restructure, so I'm going to consider this Encompass Training Part 2. You guys got a quick taste of what matching looks like again on a different file, maybe a different issue than the first video. So we'll just kind of add this one to the arsenal of Encompass trainings. Hopefully on the next one, I'll actually be able to get some approved findings for you, and you can see kind of my thought process when restructuring. But thank you for your time. Appreciate it.